Our objective is clear: a perfectly set, steaming 9 by 13-inch jalapeno popper beef cornbread, ready for immediate deployment at the family dinner table. When executed correctly, a single square can be cleanly extracted without falling apart, avoiding the sloppy collapse you usually see with ground beef casseroles. To pull this off, you need this precise list of components. For the base, 1 pound of ground beef, a 15-ounce can of corn, a cup of cheddar, half a cup of diced jalapeños, and basic spices. For the topping, an 8.5-ounce box of cornbread mix, an egg, and 1/3 of a cup of milk. Following this specific sequence of operations is what ensures the dish maintains its physical structure once it leaves the pan. Step 1 is establishing your environmental parameters. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and thoroughly grease a 9 by 13-inch baking dish to prevent surface adhesion. Drop your ground beef into a skillet over medium heat. Break it apart and brown the meat until it is fully cooked with no pink remaining. As the beef cooks, excess lipids render out and pool at the bottom. You must extract every drop of this fat before moving on. Failing to drain the skillet is a critical point of failure. If that grease makes it into the baking dish, the moisture will permanently compromise your base layer. Proactive moisture control right here at the foundation dictates whether your casserole survives the bake intact or whether it degrades into a soggy mess. Now transfer the drained beef to a large bowl. Mix in the cheddar cheese, jalapeños, a half teaspoon each of garlic and onion powder, plus salt and pepper to establish the core matrix. Next, integrate the canned corn, but verify that it is completely drained first. We have to maintain a strict dry weight ratio to keep the internal structure stable. In a separate bowl, initiate your secondary compound, the batter. Pour in the cornbread mix, crack in the egg, and add exactly 1/3 cup milk. Handle this batter carefully. You want to stir it only until the wet and dry ingredients are barely combined. You should easily spot visible dry lumps left in the bowl. If you overmix this batter trying to get a perfectly smooth liquid, you will develop too much gluten. That results in a dense, tough crust, rather than the light, fluffy sealing the dish requires. Deliberately preserving those fragile lumps ensures the batter retains the necessary cellular structure for proper thermodynamic expansion in the oven. Take your completed beef matrix and distribute it evenly across the bottom of your greased dish, packing it gently to form a level foundation. Next, pour your fragile cornbread batter over the top. Spread it gently with a spatula, pushing it all the way to the corners to create a complete edge-to-edge environmental seal. Place the dish into your 400-degree oven. The thermal reaction requires exactly 25 to 30 minutes to complete. Here's the cross-section of the casserole baking. The dense meat mixture anchors the bottom, supporting the batter layer. Rapid heat forces the top layer to expand upward, creating a middle moisture seal, locking juices below without letting the layers mix. Aligning these components in sequence results in a final bake where the beef base and cornbread top function as a single cohesive unit. At the 25-minute mark, check your progress. Insert a toothpick directly into the center of the cornbread. If it comes out clean, the internal bake is complete and you can pull the dish. Now comes a highly counterintuitive directive. Leave it alone. You must initiate a mandatory resting period on the counter. Cutting into the dish immediately will cause the molten center to spill out and collapse. Resting it for a few minutes allows the internal temperature to drop, solidifying the melted cheese and locking the moisture matrix in place. Once the structure sets, your knife will glide cleanly through that golden crust, resulting in perfectly uniform, servable units. Patience during the cool-down phase is the final mechanical step that guarantees a perfect, intact extraction of this classic comfort food.